anybody who has prior military service or who knows someone who can talk about this is what don't ask, don't tell means. This is very important. You know what I mean? Hey, how you doing there, future congresswoman?
Well, I can tell you about it.
Yeah, but I mean, you can tell me about it. You can tell me about it.
Yeah, I used to be in the Air Force. I used to be in the Air Force, and I'm a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
So I know all about donuts.
But let me tell you,
but personal stories of colleagues being kicked out.
But the question was, what can we do in this room? And if you, like, for example, share with me the stories, we can just talk. I mean, personal stories are very powerful, persuasive tool. This happened to someone, bam, and it's really very persuasive. So some of your folks, some stories about it, they don't have to be long. In fact, some of the best stories are short. But good, solid stories about this is what this means. Because I was talking to Tom earlier tonight. He was telling me about the 515 program, right? Was that what you were telling me? Project 515. And it's a project 515. The 515 is about the number of statutes that discriminate against same-sex couples, right? And is that right?
No, 1,000.
Okay, well, in the state law, and so look, the word marriage for some people is a loaded idea with a lot of religious ideas embedded in it, and so we fight with people over this concept. It's a fight that I think we should win, but how do we get to that point? By pointing out specifically, look at all these areas of law where same-sex couples are victims of discrimination, specifically. Now, when you start getting into the weeds on that, then now you're appealing to people for whom, a rational argument does work. And that's not everybody, as you know. And so this idea, these stories help make specific examples. They help point out how this law works in a very peculiar way. It destroys myths, I heard somebody say, well, you can't do it in close contact, and what do you do? All these things, you know what I mean? So the story and just talking about it more. Maybe we should do a community forum on the damage of don't ask, don't tell. And it's interesting, don't ask, don't tell was intended to be a progressive reform at one time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were hopeful and thought, oh, it's not over.
Sure. And it is. So that good question.
If you want us to send you stories,
yes,
and we send you stories,
right.
My impression is that I don't need to convince you.
Right.
You don't do something with those stories?
Well, let me just, tighten the circle. I don't need a story to convince me. I need a story to convince others. So here's what I do with the story. I might read them on the House floor. I might do a 1-minute speech on the House floor, or a 5-minute on it, or I might Twitter the story and say, I just talked to a friend or a constituent who told me thus, bam, Or I might put it in an article that I'm writing, or I might just send it out to colleagues. I mean, there's a whole range of things we might do. Or we might just, if we can convince them, we can just put them all on our website and say, if you've ever had doubts about the destructiveness of don't ask, don't tell, read these true stories. Just put them up on the website. So that's what we do with them. They're not just for me to put in a box, right? Because I got enough paper and enough emails, But they're to persuade other people.